Hi everyone, welcome to Friday Fact Day. My name is Terry, and this is my little opportunity every week to tell you about the work I do in fitness, feminism, and philosophy. And today's fact is Dunning Kruger Effect, Mandela Effect, and are they the same thing as Agnotology? Let's unpack that right now. Those of you who've been to my channel before, you know Agnotology is one of my big themes, and I do a lot of my academic work around that particular branch of philosophy. There's some links down below for the first 3 FFD or Friday Fact Day videos about Agnotology, as well as a link to my longer essay piece on Agnotology in the music industry. So this is just yet another piece in the same series. I'm going to cover the second one first. I already did cover Mandela Effect a little bit in the music and Agnotology video, which is linked down below. And it is named for Nelson Mandela, and it comes from the cultural phenomena that some people believed Mandela died while in prison in the 1980s or 1990s, which of course is not true at all. He died a free man in 2013. The Mandela Effect is a name for any mass misremembering of the specifics or the exact details of a situation or really anything. And quite a lot of examples of the Mandela Effect come from things like advertising and logos for corporations and things that we see constantly, but we may not ever stop to really look at and really scrutinize. So we assume certain elements are there, but they're really not there. Another very big category for the Mandela Effect is us misremembering song lyrics, or even more often, movie lines. And probably the most famous example of that comes from the Star Wars series, the original trilogy, in that very famous Darth Vader line, "Luke, I am your father." It's not exactly how it was said in the movie. Another really famous one is that super creepy line from Silence of the Lambs, "Hello, Clarice." Never actually said that in the film. And again, for those of you who like your sci-fi, another example from that genre, nobody ever said "Beam me up, Scotty" on Star Trek. Those are all things we're pretty sure we remember, and maybe we're not remembering them exactly. Quite often, especially in more recent decades, we're remembering those things from parodies that comedians have done on variety shows and sitcoms, and we're misremembering them from other cultural contexts. Now, when it comes to song lyrics, probably the most famous one from one of my absolute all-time favorite bands is the end of "We Are the Champions" by Queen. Think about what the last line of that song is. It's probably not what you think it is. And no, the DJs on the radio don't cut that off before Freddie got to sing the last line. He sang the last line, but you think there's one more coming, but there's not. The second one we want to look at today is the Dunning Kruger Effect. And I've actually been asked about this one quite a few times, and I think so has one of the creators of Agnotology, Dr. Robert Proctor. He's actually talked about this in a few interviews, and I'll put some links down below where you can hear him explain it. But I'm going to give you my explanation as well. Dunning-Kruger effect is, like the Mandela effect, a psychological phenomenon. So agnotology is a new branch of philosophy, so in that sense, they're not the same at all. But there's, again, a little bit of crossover between them. And interestingly, Dunning and Kruger noticed this phenomenon in a study they had done in the late 90s. So it was actually created around the same time, just a few years after agnotology was created. Dunning-Kruger effect is an individual effect. So unlike Mandela effect, that is a collective misremembering, this comes down to individual behaviors and perspective. The perspective, of course, is famously that some people aren't smart enough to know that they're not very smart. That's an unpleasant way of saying it. Let me get a little more technical with that. Sometimes people have a misunderstanding or a poor sense of judgment over their own level of knowledge or mastery over a particular topic or set of skills. Also similar to agnotology, Dunning-Kruger effect became part of the common discourse and became a very highly Googled term, around November-ish of 2016. I think you can think of why. After the election of a certain former United States president who shall remain nameless on this channel, a lot of people were asking, how can people be so ignorant to elect a character like that? Or how can they be so stupid to elect a character like that? And how can a guy that stupid get elected because he thinks he's the smartest president that the United States has ever had? All of those questions led a lot of people to both agnotology and Dunning-Kruger effect at the same time. And that's why we do get asked if they're the same thing. That's the difference between the three things and where there's a little bit of overlap that we can play with all three together. I think they can all fit in the same sandbox in some projects or in some areas of study. So as always, lift heavy, fight the patriarchy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.